Vehicles are a very big part of GT Online. You use them in basically every scenario in the game. Because of this, it's very important to have good vehicles even early on in the game when you're not that high of a level. In this video, I will be going through what I think are the 5 best beginner vehicles in GT Online. Right, so starting right off with number 5 is the Elegy RH8. You might be surprised that this vehicle is even at this list, but basically the sole reason this vehicle is on the list is because it is free. Yes, it is 100% free. Everybody gets this vehicle for free, and because of this, it is pretty good because it is a sports car, it is decently fast, and also pretty good looking in my opinion. When you first spawn into GT Online, and I mean like the first minute of you spawning into GT Online, you should be getting this vehicle right here. Just claim it instantly if you can, if you have a garage, and then use the vehicle until you can afford some of the later vehicles on this list. At number 4, we have the Bati 801, and I have praised the Bati 801 in so many videos before, and this is because the vehicle is just so extremely good. First off, the bike only costs $15,000, which is basically pocket money in GT Online. It is very fast for how cheap it is, and that then makes it one of the best motorcycles in the game in general, and it only costs $15,000. Because of this, it is also very good for time trials, and if you didn't know, when you do a time trial successfully, you will get $100,000. And if you have paid attention, you would know that the Bati 801 only costs $15,000. That then makes it a $85,000 profit margin every week when you do the time trial just by buying this bike. Of course, you can also use it for missions, getting around the map, doing wheelies, whatever you'd like, you could do it with the Bati 801, and it also looks spectacular. I highly recommend the Bati 801 for every player in the game. It's good for grinding, it's good for getting around the map, and it's also very fun to drive. You gotta get the Bati 801 either way. At number 3, you might be surprised that this is ranked so low, but it is the Armored Kuruma. The Armored Kuruma costs $698,000, but you can get it for a trade price of $525,000 if you do the Fleecer job heist, which is really easy to do if you just get a high-end apartment, and then you only need one more person to do the actual job or the heist, and then you can get the Armored Kuruma for a lot less. I recommend to do this. And the reason the Armored Kuruma is at number 3 is because it is virtually impenetrable from NPC bullets. With this, I mean, for example, if you are in a cop chase and then the police are shooting you from every angle, getting shot out of this vehicle by NPCs are literally millions to one. Because of this, it is also very great for missions, and it's also decently fast because it is a sports car. And also, me as a veteran of the game with multiple accounts over level 200, I still use this vehicle sometimes for different activities. It is that good. So definitely get the Armored Kuruma. It will help you a lot when doing simple missions in the beginning, because you can just drive in there, shoot everybody, and then drive out. It will make every mission much quicker. I highly recommend it. At number 2, we have the Buzzard attack helicopter, and the Buzzard costs $1,750,000. There is no trade price for this, and it is one of the all-time best grinding vehicles in GT Online. This helicopter has been in the game for so extremely long. I can't even tell you when it got released. The Buzzard is a bit outdated, but it is still one of the cheapest helicopters in the game that's actually good, so therefore I still recommend it to every new player. The Buzzard has alright missiles, they work in missions and stuff, but you will have to angle the helicopter correctly for them to actually hit, because sometimes they just hit the ground and stuff like that. The Buzzard is also very good for getting around the map. It's one of the fastest helicopters in the game. The Buzzard, in my opinion, is basically a worse version of the Present Mark II, just like in a helicopter form. Also, by the way, you can also spawn it with the CEO menu. If you've already bought the Buzzard attack helicopter, you can spawn it with the CEO menu right beside you for completely free, and it spawns literally right beside you. It's one of the only vehicles in the game that can spawn right beside you that isn't a land vehicle, for example a car or a bike. The Buzzard attack helicopter, if you spawn it with the CEO menu, will literally spawn right beside you on the beach, on the road, on the mountain, everywhere. So if you ever get in a tricky situation, you can just call in the Buzzard with the CEO menu and it will be right beside you and you can get out of there. So even for that sole reason, I do recommend the Buzzard just to have it as a backup plan. Now before we get on to number 1, here is a honorable mention that barely didn't make this list, and that is the Duco Def. The Duco Def costs $665,000, but you can get it for free if you are a returning player. Back in the days, that meant if you came from the Xbox 360 or PS3 onto the PS4 or Xbox One. Nowadays, I'm not completely sure how that works, but you can get it for free if you are a returning player. Anyway, the Duco Def is decently fast. It is actually a bit faster than the Kuruma, which is a bit surprising to me at least, because I thought the Kuruma was a bit faster, but actually the Duco Def has a little bit better top speed than the Kuruma, but it is so small that it is not really noticeable. The Duco Def has alright bullet protection. It's nowhere near as good as the armored Kuruma, but it still holds up against NPCs. Against real players, you will get absolutely smacked because yeah, they can just shoot through the window once and you're dead. But against NPCs, it's quite alright. But the big thing about the Duco Def that arguably could make it better than the armored Kuruma is the explosive protection it has. The Duco Def can take 3 RPGs and 5 homing rockets. That's alone, not together. So it can't take 3 RPGs and 5 homing rockets in a row. It can take 3 RPGs or 5 homing rockets. That's what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, it is a lot better than the armored Kuruma, which blows up instantly after only 1 explosive. So this is an excellent starter vehicle if you can manage to get it for free. If not, then it will cost a little bit. I then recommend to buy the armored Kuruma instead of this, but if you can get it for free, it's an awesome starter vehicle, and it's also pretty cool in my opinion. And now at number 1, this is quite a newcomer, so if you have watched similar videos to this before, like top 5 beginner vehicles, this vehicle will probably not be on lots of people's list. I don't think I've ever seen it on anyone's list, to be honest, and it is the Brickade 6x6, aka the Acid Lab. Now this vehicle is crazy good. First things first, the vehicle is actually free. You only need to do 6 missions to unlock the truck, and yeah, after this you have unlocked it and you can use it however you'd like. It can tank a lot of rockets, and to be exact, without armor plating it can tank 34 RPGs and homing rockets, so 34 RPGs or 34 homing rockets, and with armor plating it can tank 46 RPGs or homing rockets, which is absolutely insane. You will literally need 3 Oppressor Mark IIs to even take this out once, because it's so OP. Another thing with the Brickade 6x6 is that it can actually bump cars out of the way very easily. Many vehicles in this game has like a ramp on the front, but it usually doesn't work well. It is usually really bad. The Pounder Custom is a good example, but with this, the Brickade 6x6, it is very solid. You can literally drive in the opposite direction on the road and you can go full speed without anything stopping you. A nice bonus as well is that the Acid Lab business that you get with the Brickade 6x6. To be fair, you have to pay $750,000 to get this Acid Lab installed into the Brickade 6x6, but it is extremely good. Speaking about the Acid Lab is a great beginner business, but it is a bit tricky to get started. Therefore, I have made a beginner's guide to the Acid Lab business, which goes through everything you need to know as well as how to make the most money with the business. So click the video on screen right now to become the Andrew Tate of GT Online. Subscribing and leaving a like would also help me out greatly. God bless and thank you for watching. I'm the biggest bird, I'm the biggest bird.